Welcome to the Stoic tide. Look around you. We live in a world where everyone is overthinking every little detail, talking just to fill the silence and scattering their attention across 1,000 pointless distractions. People argue to feel important, explain themselves to gain approval, and chase noise because they're terrified of stillness. But a Stoic moves differently. A Stoic doesn't chase validation. A Stoic doesn't spill energy through endless talking. A Stoic doesn't let a noisy mind decide the quality of their life. Marcus Aurelius warned us long ago, the closer you are to silence, the closer you are to truth. And truth is simple. When you quiet your mind, speak less, and focus more, you become someone who cannot be shaken. Today, we're going to unlock 7 deep Stoic truths that show why real strength begins the moment you stop drowning in thoughts. Stop wasting words and start living with disciplined focus. Take a breath. Your transformation begins now. Truth number 1. When your mind stops overthinking, clarity arrives. 1. When your mind stops overthinking, clarity arrives. Overthinking is the silent killer of modern strength. It feels like you're thinking your way toward a solution, but what you're really doing is drowning yourself in possibilities, fears, predictions, and imaginary outcomes that never become real. Your mind becomes a courtroom where you argue with yourself, replay moments, analyze every word you said, and try to prepare for scenarios that may never happen. And the more you think, the less you act. The more you analyze, the less you move. The more you spin inside your own head, the weaker you feel. Stoics understood this long before psychology gave it a name. Epictetus warned, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." He wasn't being poetic. He was describing the exact mechanism of overthinking. Most of what hurts you isn't what's happening. It's the meaning you attach to it, the stories you create around it, and the spirals you let your mind fall into. Think about how many hours you've lost replaying conversations, trying to guess what someone meant, predicting their next move, or rehearsing explanations you never ended up giving. None of that made you stronger. None of that brought clarity. None of that changed the outcome. What it did was drain your energy, cloud your judgment, and pull you further from the present moment where your actual power lives. Overthinking is your mind trying to control what is outside your control. Clarity, on the other hand, appears when you reverse that pattern. Stoic clarity isn't about knowing everything. It's about removing what doesn't matter. It's subtractive, not additive. It's the art of thinking less so that you can see more. Here's why clarity arrives when your mind quiets. When the mind stops running, your senses sharpen. When you stop rehearsing the future, you actually show up for the present. When you stop trying to predict people, you start observing them accurately. When you stop creating stories, you finally see facts. Clarity comes from silence, not noise. And the moment you experience that silence, even for a few seconds, you'll notice a shift. Your breathing slows. Your thoughts become straight lines instead of tangled knots. Your emotions become lighter. Your decisions become simpler. Almost every mistake we make, every emotional reaction, every regretful message, every impulsive decision comes from an untrained mind that moves faster than we can control. Stoicism solves this with one simple discipline. Pause before you interpret. If you pause, you reclaim power. If you don't, the moment owns you. Here's the Stoic ritual you can use anytime you feel overthinking tightening around you. Step 1. Pause. Stop the mental movie. Don't add another frame. Step 2. Breathe. Slow, deep breaths. Bring your awareness back into your body. Step 3. Question the thought. Is this a fact or a story? Is this happening or am I imagining it? Is this in my control or outside it? Every time you do these 3 simple steps, overthinking loses its grip a little more, and clarity begins to take shape. Not because you figured everything out, but because you stopped attacking your mind with noise. Strong people aren't strong because they think more. They're strong because their minds are clean, quiet, and disciplined. Remember this line: a quiet mind is a powerful mind. And every day you practice silence, you sharpen the strength that overthinking once stole from you. 2. Talking less protects truth. Number 2. Talking less protects your power. There's a reason the strongest people in any room are rarely the ones doing the most talking. In fact, the more someone needs to explain themselves, justify themselves, impress others, or fill every silence with words, the weaker their presence becomes. In our culture, people confuse talking with influence. But the truth is simple. When you talk too much, you leak power. When you speak less, you preserve it. Think about the moments in your life when you walked away from a conversation feeling drained. It wasn't because the other person said something profound. It was because you gave too much of yourself away through unnecessary words. You explained more than needed. You revealed more than necessary. You tried to convince someone who had already made up their mind. And deep down, you knew it. Every sentence felt like handing over a little piece of your energy. Stoics knew the danger of excessive speech. They lived in noisy marketplaces, political gatherings, and tense public forums, yet they spoke with precision and restraint. Seneca warned, "See, speech is the mirror of the soul." Meaning every word you speak reveals the state of your mind. Scattered speech signals a scattered mind. Defensive speech reveals insecurity. Endless explanations reveal a lack of self-respect. And here's the irony. People trust you more when you speak less. Why? Because silence forces them to project strength onto you. Silence makes them wonder what you're thinking. Silence turns your presence into gravity. Meanwhile, over-talking does the exact opposite. It makes others comfortable dismissing you. It exposes too much of your emotional landscape. It makes you predictable, readable, and easy to manipulate. In the modern world, people rush to fill silence because silence feels uncomfortable. They fear that being quiet makes them appear boring, uninterested, or weak. But the opposite is true. When you speak only when necessary, people lean in. They pay attention. They take your words seriously because they're rare. Talking less doesn't mean staying silent out of fear. It means speaking selectively out of strength. It means choosing clarity over noise. It means resisting the impulse to spill your thoughts just to ease discomfort. It means valuing your energy enough to protect it. Let's break down why talking less transforms your power. First, you stop giving people ammunition. The less you reveal, the less others can twist your words, judge you unfairly, or use your vulnerabilities against you. Second, you control the narrative. When you stop oversharing, you stop giving away pieces of your identity that people haven't earned access to. Third, you force others to meet you halfway. Silence creates psychological pressure. Most people rush to fill it, revealing far more than you ever would. And finally, you build self-respect. Restraint is hard, but every time you choose silence over unnecessary speech, you reinforce discipline. Here's a rule that will elevate your entire presence. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't deserve access to your mind. Most of the time, the moment you start explaining, you've already lost ground. A simple, calm statement is enough. This is my decision. No essays, no paragraphs, no emotional bargaining. Strong people don't broadcast everything they feel. They don't narrate their entire life. They don't justify every choice. They know their worth, and they let their actions confirm it. Remember this: your silence is a boundary, and your words are an investment. Spend them wisely. 3. Focus makes truth. Number 3. Focus makes you dangerous. You, dangerous. There's nothing more powerful, nothing more intimidating than a person who can lock in, shut out the noise, and commit their full attention to one thing at a time. In a world drowning in distractions, focus has become a rare superpower. Most people don't lose because they're weak. They lose because they're distracted. They lose because their mind is constantly pulled in 100 directions. Notifications, opinions, temptations, fears, entertainment and noise that steals decades without being noticed. Stoics understood this long before we had smartphones, apps, and endless scrolling. Marcus Aurelius warned, "You become what you give your attention to." And he was right. Your attention is your life. Every moment you spend scattering it is a moment you'll never get back. Every task you start but don't finish weakens your discipline. Every distraction you indulge is a small betrayal of the person you want to become. Focus makes you dangerous because it cuts through the clutter. It gives you clarity. It gives you speed. It gives you an edge over people who burn their lives chasing dopamine instead of building something real. While others react to every ping, you stay locked in. While others get pulled into arguments, you stay centered. While others waste hours on nothing, you move closer to everything you said you wanted. Here's the truth. Most people are not competing with you. They're competing with their own inability to pay attention. If you master focus, you remove 90% of your competition without ever saying a word. Think about it. How many dreams died because someone was distracted? How many goals fell apart because someone couldn't sit still? How many days slipped away because someone chased quick pleasure instead of deep progress? Focus turns you into someone others can't keep up with. It's not about being smarter, it's about being unavailable to everything that weakens you. But focus doesn't come from intensity. It comes from discipline. It comes from training your mind to do the boring work, the hard work, the repetitive work. It comes from saying no 10 times more often than you say yes. It comes from building an internal boundary between you and anything that steals your attention. Here's how to cultivate Stoic focus. 1. Decide your one priority each day, not 5, not 10. 1. When everything is important, nothing is. 2. Build a distraction-free container. Turn your phone face down. Close the tabs. Create an environment where focus becomes the default, not the miracle. 3. Work in deep, uninterrupted blocks. 20, 30, or 90 minutes, whatever you can sustain. Don't break the block for anything trivial. 4. Protect your attention like you protect your self-respect. Say no to noise. Say no to chaos. Say no to people who drain you. You will notice something powerful once you consistently focus. You start finishing more than you start. Your work gets sharper. Your confidence rises. Your anxiety decreases. Your purpose becomes clearer. Most people have potential. Very few have focus. And that's why very few rise. Remember this. When you control your attention, you control your life. And when you control your life, you become someone the world can't ignore. For Truth Murder 4. Energy flows where words don't leak. Energy flows where words don't leak. Most people don't fail because they lack talent, discipline, or opportunity. They fail because they talk themselves out of their own strength. They leak energy through constant explanations, unnecessary conversations, emotional venting, and announcing plans they never follow through on. Every time you talk about what you're going to do instead of quietly doing it, a little of your power disappears. You've probably felt it before. That rush of excitement when you share your goals with someone, the business idea, the fitness plan, the new version of yourself you're trying to build. It feels good in the moment. It feels real. But here's the psychological trap. Your brain releases the same dopamine when you talk about a goal as when you take the first step toward it. So your mind feels satisfied without you actually doing anything. The motivation fades, the momentum dies, and the goal stays a dream. Stoics understood this long before modern science caught up. They believed true strength grows in silence, in private discipline, in actions that don't need applause. Marcus Aurelius lived this truth daily. He didn't stand in the Roman Forum announcing, "Today I will practice virtue." He simply practiced it quietly, consistently, without leaking a single drop of intention through unnecessary words. Energy is like water. Keep pouring it into conversations, and you'll have none left for action. Energy is like currency. Spend it on opinions, and you'll have none for results. Energy is like a blade. It dulls every time you waste it on people who don't deserve your plans. Think about how often your progress stalled because you felt the need to narrate your life, explaining why you're making a change, convincing someone to understand your decisions, defending your goals, announcing your progress just to feel seen. None of that makes you stronger. It only distracts you from the work. Strong people don't talk their way to power. They build it brick by brick, rep by rep, day by day. And when the results appear, they don't need to say a word because results speak louder than explanations ever will. Here's a simple truth. The more you talk about something, the less likely you are to actually do it, because talking gives you the illusion of progress. But silence forces you to act. Silence turns intention into commitment. Silence removes the performance and leaves only the work. So, here's how to stop leaking power. 1. Stop making announcements. Your goals don't need an audience. They need discipline. 2. Replace explanations with actions. If someone doubts you, don't defend yourself. Outgrow them. 3. Keep your progress private. Not everyone has earned the right to witness your evolution. 4. Let your silence create pressure. People are unsettled by those who don't overshare. They pay attention. They respect the mystery. 5. Do the work when no one is watching. That's where real strength is built. In the quiet rooms, late nights, early mornings, and unglamorous hours, no one applauds. When you stop leaking your energy through words, something powerful happens. You become unpredictable. You become focused. You become steady. You become someone whose presence carries weight. Remember this. Talk less about the life you want. Build it in silence and let the results speak with a volume your words never could. 5. Peace comes. Truth number 5. Peace comes from detachment. Most people think peace is something you find when life finally calms down. When people start behaving better, when circumstances fall into place. But that's not peace. That's dependency. Real peace doesn't come from the world cooperating with you. Real peace comes from your ability to detach from what you cannot control. And that single skill, detachment, is one of the most powerful Stoic weapons ever created. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. It means you stop letting every comment, every mood shift, every rumor, every delay, every misunderstanding, and every unpredictable twist of life dictate your emotional state. When you're attached, you lose yourself in the behavior of others. When you detach, you return to yourself. Think about how many times your day has been ruined by something you couldn't control. A rude message, someone's tone, a delay, being ignored, a plan falling apart, someone not giving you the response you hoped for. None of these things actually harmed you. What hurt you was the meaning you gave them. What hurt you was attachment. They must respect me. They must respond. This must go my way. This shouldn't be happening. The Stoics warned that this mindset is emotional slavery. The more you need things to happen a certain way, the easier you are to break. Marcus Aurelius mastered detachment during war, betrayal, plague, and political chaos. He couldn't control the world, but he controlled what he allowed to live inside his mind. And that's the heart of Stoic freedom. Peace is an inside job. Detachment is not coldness. It's clarity. It's choosing to respond to life rather than react to it. It's giving yourself permission to breathe before you interpret. It's stepping back long enough to see the truth instead of being dragged by emotion. Here's what detachment actually gives you: emotional stability. When you detach, you stop being shaken by every wave. You become the calm beneath the storm, instead of the storm itself. Mental clarity. Attachment. Clouds. Judgment. Detachment clears the fog and lets you see what matters. Personal power. You reclaim control of your reactions instead of giving strangers the remote control to your emotions. Inner freedom. You stop living through the expectations and behaviors of others. You return to yourself. Look at the moments in your life when you were most anxious, most reactive, most on edge. You'll notice it wasn't the situation. It was your attachment to how you wanted it to be. Your peace was held hostage by something or someone outside your control. So, how do you detach like a Stoic? 1. Accept reality before judging it. Don't add emotion before you have clarity. See what is, not what you fear it means. 2. Practice the "is this mine" test. Ask, is this within my control? If the answer is no, release it immediately. 3. Create space before responding. Silence is a weapon. Use it. A calm response after a pause is more powerful than a perfect reaction set in panic. 4. Let people be who they are. Stop trying to fix, change, or predict them. That's attachment disguised as control. 5. Choose your inner world over the outer world. Make peace your priority. Not approval, not validation, not ego. Here's the truth. When you detach, you stop being easy to manipulate. When you detach, you stop being emotionally available to chaos. When you detach, you become untouchable. Remember this line: peace is not given. Peace is chosen. And detachment is how you choose it. 6. Your strength grows when your actions speak louder than your truth. Number 6. Your actions speak louder than your opinions. Most people think power comes from having the right opinions, the right arguments, the right explanations, or the right words at the right time. But true strength has never come from talking. It has always come from doing. In every era, in every field, and in every philosophy worth remembering, the people who rise are not the ones who argued the loudest, but the ones who acted with quiet consistency. Stoicism is built on this principle. Marcus Aurelius didn't spend his days debating what a good man should be. He said it clearly. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Opinions are easy. Action is rare. Opinions make you feel right. Action makes you become someone. Opinions live in the mouth. Action lives in the real world. And this is why a person who acts, even silently, immediately stands apart from the crowd. In a society full of talkers, the one who moves is the one who dominates. When you choose action over commentary, you shift from spectator to creator. You stop being someone who watches life happen and become someone who shapes it. Think of how many people you know who have strong opinions about everything: success, discipline, relationships, morality, politics, self-improvement. Yet their real life looks nothing like their words. They speak about goals they never pursue, values they never uphold, and dreams they never touch. Their identity is built on noise, not substance. But think of the people you respect the most. They don't broadcast their intentions. They don't preach their values. They don't list their goals. They simply live them. Their actions speak with a confidence words can never match. You can sense their strength in the way they move, the way they handle pressure, the way they stay calm when others fall apart. Their life is their proof. Here's the truth. When your actions speak for you, you don't have to convince anyone of who you are. People see it. People feel it. People adjust to it. But to live this way, you must let go of a major weakness: the urge to validate yourself through speech, the urge to impress, the urge to explain, the urge to convince. These urges drain your energy and keep you from doing the work. Stoic strength comes from shifting energy inward, away from performance toward practice. Every minute spent defending yourself is a minute stolen from building yourself. Here's how you shift from opinion-driven to action-driven. 1. Speak less about your goals. Not everyone deserves to hear what you're building. Protect your vision until it's strong enough to stand on its own. 2. Let your results answer questions. If someone doubts you, outgrow them. If someone challenges you, let your progress be the reply. 3. Act faster than you explain. Do the work first, evaluate later. Speak last. 4. Replace self-promotion with self-respect. Your value increases when you stop begging the world to notice. 5. Measure your days by actions taken, not thoughts entertained. Every completed task is a vote for the person you're becoming. The beautiful thing about action is this: it builds an identity that no one can argue with. People can debate your opinions, mock your words, ignore your ideas, but they cannot deny your results. Action changes you from the inside out. It sharpens your mind, strengthens your discipline, and grounds your confidence in something real. Remember this: prove nothing, build everything, and eventually the world will have no choice but to respect what you've become. 7. Silent. Truth. 7. Silent discipline builds unshakable strength. Discipline is the foundation of true strength. There's a moment in every warrior's life, ancient or modern, when they realize that power isn't built in noise. It isn't built in dramatic announcements, emotional reactions, or constant declarations about what they're going to do next. Real power is built in silence, in the hours no one sees, in the decisions no one applauds, in the discipline that doesn't need an audience. Stoics lived by this truth. They didn't post their struggles, narrate their growth, or broadcast every internal victory. Their strength came from private commitment, from doing what mattered even when no one was watching, from showing up when it was inconvenient, from training their mind and character without expecting praise. Silent discipline isn't glamorous, but it's unbreakable. Look at anyone who has built something meaningful. An artist who spends years practicing before anyone hears their name. An athlete who trains before dawn. A business owner grinding quietly long before success becomes visible. Their strength was not born in the spotlight. It was forged in solitary, focused, unseen consistency. Silence creates pressure. Discipline shapes that pressure into power. Together, they make you unstoppable. Silent discipline means you choose progress over performance. It means you stop responding to every distraction, every noise, every invitation to argue or defend yourself. It means you simplify your life down to the essentials. One mission, one direction, one standard. When you eliminate the necessary becomes powerful. Here's what silent discipline gives you: precision. Without noise, you can see exactly where your energy needs to go, and you send it there with force. Momentum. Consistency grows when no one is interrupting you, doubting you, or pulling you into their chaos. Freedom. You stop living for approval. You start living for mastery, inner strength. The kind of strength that doesn't shake when life hits hard because it was built in solitude long before the challenge arrived. Silent discipline also creates something most people never develop: self-reliance. You no longer need motivation. You don't rely on applause. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You become the kind of person who moves quietly, consistently, predictably toward the life you're building. This is why the loudest people often have the least control. Their noise isn't power, it's insecurity. But the person who doesn't need to announce, defend, or justify, that person is dangerous. Not because they're aggressive, but because they're anchored. Their discipline is silent, but their results are loud. Here's how to cultivate silent discipline in your daily life. 1. Create a daily ritual. 1 hour of focused work. No phone, no noise, no distraction every day. 2. Remove the performance. Stop recording your growth. Stop seeking reactions. Build privately. 3. Hold yourself to a standard no one else sees. Make your invisible effort your greatest pride. 4. Protect your mornings and your nights. These are the anchor points of discipline. Guard them fiercely. 5. Commit to a mission bigger than your mood. Discipline is doing it whether you feel like it or not. Silent discipline doesn't just make you stronger, it makes you unshakable. Because when the world gets loud, when people complain, when chaos rises, you remain steady. Your foundation is internal. Your strength is self-made. Remember this: discipline is your loudest language. The world will hear it long after your words fade. When you outro, your journey toward disciplined power begins. Strip away the noise, the opinions, the overthinking, and the endless talking. You start to see something most people never discover: your real power. These 7 truths aren't just ideas to think about. They are a way of living, a way of moving through the world with clarity, intention, and strength. Because the truth is simple: your life changes the moment you change the way you show up. When your mind stops spinning, you make sharper decisions. When your words become fewer, your presence becomes stronger. And when your focus sharpens, your progress accelerates in ways that feel almost unfair compared to the distracted world around you. Every Stoic, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca knew that strength isn't loud. It isn't dramatic. It isn't built through emotional reactions or verbal performances. Strength is built quietly through disciplined attention, controlled emotion, and deliberate action. And that same strength is available to you starting today. So, here's my challenge for you. Choose one of these 7 truths and practice it for the next 24 hours. Not all 7, just one. 1 moment of silence before reacting. 1 hour of deep focus. 1 decision made without overthinking. 1 day of speaking only when necessary. You'll be surprised how quickly your inner world shifts. Thank you for spending your time here. Your attention is valuable, and I don't take it lightly. If this message spoke to you, let me know in the comments which truth hit you the hardest. And if you want more content rooted in real Stoic strength, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Your journey towards silent, disciplined power has already begun.